Diggers und Dealers 2016. Die Diggers feiert als Konferenz 25-jähriges Bestehen und wir freuen uns wieder mit John Welborn von Resolute Mining einen interessanten Gesprächspartner zu haben. Einige Zuschauer möchten sich vielleicht daran erinnern, wir haben letztes Jahr schon ein Interview mit ihm geführt und das ist für uns jetzt eine Freude, an dieses Gespräch von damals anzuknüpfen und um ein Update über die Entwicklung der Firma zu bitten. So John, it's a pleasure. We've been meeting last year here in this same holy halls of Diggers and Dealers conference in Kalgoorlie. A lot has happened to Resolute Mining. There's been a nice increase in the share price since we met last time. So could you please explain some of the developments your company has made during the last 12 months?
Thanks, Albert. It has certainly been a very busy year at Resolute and one full of achievement for our operating team, and also we've been assisted obviously by an increase in the gold price in the last couple of months, and so as you say, it is exciting to be back out here at Kalgoorlie in the Western Australian goldfields with all of our Australian listed peers. And in the gold space it's doing very well. For me it's particularly pleasing to catch up with you again and speak to your viewers because last year I was very new in the role of Managing Director of Resolute. Resolute is an Australian listed gold producer with a focus on Africa. Last year we would have spoken about our plans for our mine in Mali, Syama. We're also the owners of the Bibiani Gold Project in Ghana, and we have an operating asset in Queensland here in Australia. But it's particularly relevant to be out here at Diggers and Dealers for Resolute because 25 years ago this company won the inaugural Digger of the Year award. So it's amazing to be back out here. And between that time Resolute has explored, developed, acquired, owned and operated 9 gold mines. And we currently have producing 300,000 ounces, roughly 200,000 ounces in Mali and 100,000 ounces in Queensland. And you mentioned that the share price has been very positive. We're up 500 or 600%, depending on where you started back from July last year. So that's a very positive run, and that's really been on the back of increased gold production from Syama and Ravenswood, but particularly a focus on costs, which you see across the gold mining industry at the moment. We see huge scope to continue to increase our production out of Africa. We're very focused on the opportunities there, so in that sense we're somewhat different to most of the Australian gold companies listed on the Australian Stock Exchange because we do have a focus in Africa. We see that as our advantage. A little bit of an update on our assets. Syama, we've now published a definitive feasibility study for an underground mine there, so we continue to produce gold. We've developed during the year since I last spoke to you a 12-year mine life future for that asset, and we intend to take its current level of production of 200,000 ounces up to 250,000 ounces over the next 2 years as we develop that mine. So that's an exciting development. It's fully funded. And our other African asset, Bibiani in Ghana, we're completed a feasibility study. We're doing some further work there with our ambition to make a development decision once we have developed a 10-year mine life future, and we see that as a 100,000 ounce producer in the future. And at Ravenswood, we're completing an underground mine in Queensland in Australia and looking at a 10-year plus mine life extension to go back to an open pit operation, again to produce roughly 100,000 ounces from that asset. So we've identified a pathway to being a 450,000 ounce producer. In terms of the fiscal side of our business, last year when I spoke to you, we had $120 million in debt in Australian dollars. We had a number of facilities, a gold prepay loan, a $50 million US denominated cash advance facility, and some convertible notes. And during the course of this year, since I met you, we've repaid all of that debt, and we've ended the financial year as at the 30th of June 2016 with $102 Australian million on our balance sheet. So we're well funded for that growth profile. We've got a great operating team, and we're making a lot of money at the moment and having a good time.
So, are you looking at acquisition targets as well? Many people, especially investors, might look for a dividend maybe as well, because every time when a miner has cash in the bank, people are asking for the dividend. So, we're doing the same. We're asking the dividend.
Yeah, I'm a very strong believer in the importance of a guiding principle within companies to be driven by the creation of shareholder value. And obviously I'm very proud of Resolute's 30-year history as a producer. We've produced 7 million ounces of gold. It makes us one of the most prolific gold producers here at this conference. However, over that 30 years, we haven't paid regular dividends, and like a lot of the gold industry, could be accused of having wasted a lot of the revenue that we've generated. So I have a very strong focus, and I think it's part of the appreciation the market are discovering with Resolute and our share price rise, is a fundamental conviction that the company exists to drive shareholder value, and a key part of that is continual growth, particularly in mining companies, capital growth and share price appreciation. But I think if part of the return to shareholders needs to be a dividend, particularly when you're generating strong profits as we are, and we haven't as yet adopted a dividend policy, but I intend to take one to the board, and that will be a sustainable dividend policy that not just announces a dividend for 1 year, but locks in some form of dividend linked to our revenue. So I think that's very important, and we'll announce the dividend policy when we publish our full year annual results towards the end of August.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have some busy days here at the conference, and I'm looking forward to the update next year.
Thanks very much, Albert, and to anyone who's interested in Resolute Mining, please look at our website. Our ticker on the ASX, the Australian Stock Exchange, is RSG. We're an Australian mining company with a strong focus in Africa. We're growing, we're profitable, and we'd love to have your support. Thanks very much.
Thank you.